Have you ever seen someone crash a party they weren't invited to and then pick a fight with the host? That's pretty much what it felt like when Meghan Markle showed up at Kevin Costner's charity event. What was supposed to be a heartfelt evening celebrating first responders ended up looking more like an episode of Bad Girls Club, Royal Edition, featuring Meghan front and center. From her overly tight grip on Prince Harry to the noticeable side-eye from the crowd, the night quickly took an unexpected turn. Let's back up for a moment. Kevin Costner hosts this fundraiser every year, known as the 805 Live Concert, named after Santa Barbara's area code. The event is all about good vibes, barbecue, cowboy hats, performances from artists like Trisha Yearwood and The Fray. No royal theatrics, no tabloid chaos, just a night dedicated to raising money for the courageous men and women who run into danger when everyone else is running away. But this year, that atmosphere shifted the second Meghan and Harry walked in as though they were still representing the monarchy. Spoiler, they're not. Meghan wasn't even expected to attend. In fact, last year she wasn't invited, and the year before, rumors swirled that she disrupted the entire mood with her erratic behavior and insistence on grabbing the spotlight. Chances are Costner hoped she'd skip this one too. Instead, she made an unannounced entrance. No sponsorship, no invitation, and not even dressed in line with the event's relaxed Western theme. She arrived with Harry and what looked like a People magazine press team, as if she were debuting a new fragrance called Royal Intruder. And here's where things really escalated. According to eyewitnesses and sharp-eyed fans analyzing the footage, a young woman working the event politely approached Meghan before the show began. Her role was to gently inform Meghan that she would not be given a speaking slot, perfectly reasonable, since she wasn't on the schedule. Meghan smiled, agreed, and assured her she had no plans to speak. But then, in a shocking twist, she allegedly struck the woman with her free hand. Not a casual nudge or accidental bump, a deliberate, handbag-shifting slap that stunned everyone nearby. What kind of person lashes out over a microphone they weren't even offered? And what did Harry do? Not much. He stood awkwardly, placing a tentative hand on Meghan's back, looking both embarrassed and concerned, as though checking to make sure she wasn't carrying another weapon. Meghan, meanwhile, clung to his hand like a guilty child caught misbehaving, fully aware she had crossed a line. The facade had cracked again, and truth be told, this wasn't the first time. Meghan's reputation with staff hasn't exactly been glowing. People who've worked for her have resigned one after another, often hinting at mistreatment and aggressive behavior. If she's willing to lash out at a charity worker in front of an audience, many can't help but wonder how she treats people behind closed doors. That's the bigger issue. It isn't about one slap, it's about an ongoing pattern. The media, of course, added its own spin. People magazine rushed out a flattering piece, portraying Meghan and Harry as honored guests. Their version suggested Meghan sweetly hugged Harry before watching the concert quietly from the sidelines like a supportive partner. But the reality? She wasn't sitting back. She was glued to his side on stage the entire time, gripping his hand as if letting go meant he'd slip away. The evening wasn't about Harry, and it certainly wasn't about first responders. Meghan made sure it was about Meghan. What's striking is how unsurprising this behavior has become. Every public appearance seems to carry its own dose of chaos. This wasn't a glitzy music festival or a reality TV stunt. It was a charity fundraiser for firefighters and emergency workers. Yet the spotlight shifted entirely to Meghan's uninvited presence and that now infamous slap, with online sleuths dissecting blurry screenshots as if they were analyzing the Zapruder film. Even Kevin Costner, the host known for his calm, low-drama persona, couldn't escape the spectacle. Instead of headlines about the performers, the cause, or even his personal life, which recently included tabloid buzz about his new partner resembling his ex-wife, the coverage was hijacked by Meghan's antics. By the end of the night, no one was discussing the bravery of first responders. They were talking about the Duchess of Sussex's iron grip on Harry's arm and her disruptive behavior. And here's the kicker. Meghan and Harry didn't contribute a single cent. No donation, no sponsorship from Archewell, not even a token gesture of support. What they did bring was a photographer, Clint Brewer, trailing them like it was a Vogue cover shoot, along with entitlement and a refusal to blend in. While other guests showed up in casual Western attire fitting the event's theme, the couple arrived overdressed and out of place, demanding attention rather than offering support. They arrived for what was supposed to be a relaxed day of barbecue and country music, Yet Meghan and Harry carried themselves as if they were about to address a grim press conference. Their outfits did little to help, wrinkled, unpolished, and lacking any sense of ease. Then came the carefully managed PR spin. Meghan's team wasted no time planting stories in the media, painting her as the picture of elegance and devotion, the supportive wife who graciously stepped aside so Harry could have the spotlight. But the photograph suggested something very different. She wasn't quietly supporting. She was firmly attached to his side, scanning the crowd with a tense energy that spoke more of control and stage management than of deference, and, predictably, the narrative once again circled back to the royal family. Mentions of King Charles, whispered reconciliations, and private meetings designed to hint at Harry's possible return to the UK were inserted into articles. It's a familiar pattern. Create a stir, provoke controversy, and then attempt to polish the image by invoking royal connections. As if standing on stage near a fire chief could erase the awkwardness of the event, or as if clinging to her husband could transform her into a symbol of national admiration. What left the strongest impression, however, wasn't the PR tactics or the dramatic gestures, it was Meghan's face. Her expressions betrayed everything, tight, strained, not just in a cosmetic sense, but in a way that suggested stress, irritation, and panic, like someone aware that control was slipping through her fingers. Harry, on the other hand, appeared detached and weary, with a swollen look that gave the impression of someone who had lost sight of why he was even there. In a room filled with first responders and veterans, that kind of detachment stood out sharply. At this point, speculation isn't about whether something happened, but about when the fallout will surface. If even a fraction of these incidents were caught on video, Meghan's carefully managed image could begin to crumble. The long silence from staffers is beginning to fracture, and murmurs from both UK and US circles are becoming more pronounced. Former colleagues are starting to speak, and what they reveal doesn't align with the humanitarian image being promoted. From alleged emotional outbursts to calculated behind-the-scenes maneuvers, the pattern is becoming hard to dismiss. After all, positions within the royal household aren't abandoned lightly, and the fact that so many did speaks volumes. Her latest assignment was meant to be a defining moment in her career, yet Meghan's staff seemed to scatter as though fleeing a crumbling building. The concern now is that this incident could unleash far greater consequences. Even a minor civil complaint from the woman allegedly struck might set off a chain reaction. Non-disclosure agreements can only offer so much protection when personal safety is involved. And once one individual finds the courage to step forward, it's likely that others, assistants, volunteers, palace aides, may follow with similar accounts. These are the people who witnessed the version of Meghan hidden from the cameras. The one said to switch from charm to hostility in an instant whenever things didn't go her way. What makes the situation even more remarkable is her apparent need for constant approval. It no longer seems about influence or control, it's about attention. Meghan craves the spotlight, the applause, and if necessary, she shapes the narrative herself. She arrives with her own photographer, her own PR team, determined to frame events in real time, bending the story into whichever version she believes the public might still accept. But the audience is growing skeptical. Each flattering headline portraying her as misunderstood or graceful is quickly countered by thousands of comments exposing the illusion. One can only claim victimhood so many times before people begin asking who the real instigator is, especially when she repeatedly inserts herself into events uninvited, leaving turmoil behind. The most tragic figure in all of this may be Harry, once the world's sympathetic prince, the boy who lost his mother, and bravely challenged royal and tradition. He now appears as little more than a supporting role in Meghan's ongoing drama. Silent, passive, he merely follows, letting her shape the narrative. Reports about his new Diana documentary suggest he is still searching, perhaps for validation, perhaps redemption. Yet, using his mother's memory for another streaming production feels less like healing and more like exploitation. Meanwhile, the real purpose of the event, the firefighters, the community, the cause behind the concert was overshadowed by royal spectacle and tabloid chatter. The first responders who truly deserved recognition were pushed out of the spotlight. They should have been the ones honored, celebrated, and remembered. Instead, they were sidelined as a self-exiled duchess fueled controversy and stole focus from a man who truly embodies courage. This isn't just inappropriate, it's deeply offensive. The repeated pattern of her behavior reveals everything. Meghan Markle isn't misunderstood, nor is she being silenced. She's loud, intentional, and strategically calculated. And for the first time, it seems the consequences are finally catching up. Now, everyone is watching closely. Whether it's legal pushback, distancing from the royal family, or a full-blown public relations collapse, one truth stands clear. The mask has slipped. And the real Meghan? She no longer looks the part of royalty.